But how does Adric starts to say, but then he interrupts him, so never mind. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you here. Ever since I came to Flower's house, I've been really trying hard to not think of anything, so the guys wouldn't hear my thoughts. But the problem is that when I'm so focused on not thinking out loud by accident, I can barely follow anything of what you're saying. How are you guys having conversations so casually without jumbling your spoken words with your inner thoughts? I don't get it. Well, I say as Layla and I exchange a look. Luna has been here for a long time, so it must come naturally to her by now. As for me and Layla, I think it's because we've already been to the ethereal plane once before, and we've kind of got the general idea of how this thinking out loud stuff works. So you two are already experts in the field, then Hadrick says. You're an expert. You wouldn't happen to have any advice for beginners like myself, would you, Barry? Sure, just try to empty your mind. That works best for me. You actually don't need to stop thinking, just don't use words when you think. How does that work? Sorry, I'm doing it sort of instinctively, so hard to explain. So last one is definitely not it. You don't actually need to stop thinking, you just need to don't use words when you're thinking. I suppose you could use the third person in your mind to speak to prevent yourself to speaking out loud. Come again, Hadrick says, confused. You know how there are times when you don't really have time to think and you're forced to take split-second decisions? Your thoughts get to materialize in words inside your head. Yeah, I get that feeling. I tell Hadrick, try using those types of thoughts instead of your regular thoughts if you want to avoid thinking out loud by mistake. It takes a bit of practice, but once you get used to this method, it will come naturally. Oh, Hadrick says, I think I get what you mean now. I make quick decisions like that all the time when I'm fighting. So what you're telling me is that I need to rely more on my warrior instinct than on my logic when we're having a discussion in the ethereal plane. Something like that, yes, I say. Now you're speaking my language, Hadrick says, and then he laughs. Alright, sorry to keep you waiting. Hadrick is ready to join the conversation once more. What were we talking about again? I kind of forgot, I say. Let's just wait for Flower to come back and we'll decide together what needs to be done next. As we wait in silence for Flower to return, a slight smell of burnt food is slowly creeping into our room, coming from a door that seems to be leading to some sort of kitchen. It doesn't smell like burnt pastry to anyone else, Hadrick says. Just as Hadrick is done talking, a Flower pops up into the room and with what I assume to be the rest of our friends, although I can't see their bodies. Sorry I was gone for so long, Flower said. It was really difficult to locate Darren for some reason. Take a seat somewhere else. What? Take a seat somewhere, guys. There is no need for you all to be standing up. My head, I feel so dizzy. I hear Darren's voice as the rest of us are seating ourselves in the chair and beds available in the room. Is nobody else feeling nausea in this plane of existence? Just me? Nope. I hear Melinda's voice coming from somewhere near Darren. No feeling of nausea whatsoever and no dizziness either. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure nobody else in the room is feeling lightheaded, or they would have mentioned it by now, Hadrick says. I think it's just you, buddy. Great, Darren says, just my luck. If only there was some way for me to cast one of my anti-nausea spells in this place. Hold on, I'll give you some medicine. Flower says as she opens her drawer and takes a small wooden box out of it. She then opens the box, takes a pill in her hand. She tries to hand over to Darren. As she's giving it to him, the pill simply falls to the ground while we're all just looking at Flower in complete silence. Oh no, Flower says, forgot that you don't have a body. Wait, I'll just turn it into light essence so that I can feed it to you properly. Okay, Darren says in an unconvinced tone. A Flower does a few motions with her hands, then the pill on the ground turns into a stream of liquid light and begins to spin in circles around the area where Darren's voice is coming from. She then stretches her arm in front of her with her palms open. The light slowly fades away. Does that feel better now? Flower says. Flower asks. Darren says, it feels much better now. Thank you. My nausea is practically gone. How did you do it? Oh, it's because the light thingy around you, around your spinning essence, it's not aligning with your soul wasn't correctly linked to your body from the ethereal plane. Oh right, wasn't there? Wait, was that Darren? I thought someone had an issue like that where their soul was not properly linked. Was that Darren? I didn't realize that. No, it's because your soul wasn't correctly linked to your body from the earthen plane, Luna says. You have met a lost soul several years ago in this ether who had a similar problem, which is why Flower had that medicine ready in her drawer in case that happened again. I see, Darren says. I suppose there's no point in asking you why my soul wasn't properly linked to my body on the other plane, is it? I'm afraid there's no way for me to know that, Luna says. But it might be related in some way to the reason why your link to the spirit in the magical plane that is allowing you to cast magic is also defective. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. All of a sudden, Flower squeals with happiness. She looks around the room, seeing all of us sitting down, making ourselves comfortable. Oh God, Flower says, this is the first time in my life when I've had so many visitors in my house at the same time. I'm so excited. Wait here, I'm gonna bring cookies. She then runs into the room. Is she also an adult in this, or is she gonna look like a child? She runs into the room where the burning smell was coming from, which has only gotten more intense as the time passed by. No, Flower shouts from the other room, my cookies. While we are waiting for Flower to clean up the mess from the kitchen, Luna tells us, might I suggest teaching our newest visitors how to regain their bodies? I'd rather not be speaking to disemboweled ghosts for the rest of your stay, if you don't mind. For the next few minutes, Luna shows Darren and Melinda how to will their bodies into existence the same way that she taught me. Soon after she is done, Flower comes out of the kitchen with a plate of cookies that she is now putting on the table in the middle of the room. There's no way you could have fixed the mess and baked new cookies in such a short amount of time, Luna tells Flower. You cheated, didn't you? No, Flower shouts. I did everything by the book. I didn't make them appear out of nowhere. I just sped up the oven a little, that's all. So you cheated, Luna says. Well, what am I supposed to do? Flower asks, exasperated. She is now getting cups of tea from cupboard and then a small plate for each of us. I couldn't keep everyone waiting for so long. That would be rude. It's not rude when you're making me wait, is it? Luna says. Not the same thing, Flower says, when while she's putting the cups on the table. You and I are living together. There are guests. It's normal that they get special treatment. And besides, we've been using the same oven almost every day for the past 20 years. You're already used to it. You can actually decorate your mind, your soul, I suppose. That is interesting. You two have been eating cookies and drinking tea in this room every day for 2 decades. Hardrick asks, perplexed. Yes, Luna says. Flower read somewhere in a children's book that this is how families that live in the same house are supposed to act, and since she's never had a real family before she met me, she made me go through along with these rituals of hers on a daily basis. But it's not like she's literally forcing you to join her every day, Hardrick says, as Flower is done setting the table, is now heading towards the kitchen to check on the tea. I mean, you could still refuse if you wanted to, right? Of course I could, Luna says, but what is your point? Nothing, Hardrick says, looking even more confused than before. Never mind, I guess. So Luna hates the tea and biscuits traditionally, but is still willing to participate every day for Flower's sake, huh? I guess she cared more for Flower than she lets on. We can all hear what you're thinking, Luna says. Who said that? Luna says that she's staring at me with a frown. You know this, don't you? Oh, right, I say, a little embarrassed. It was actually not my intention to say it out loud. Sorry about that. Oh, we said it out loud, huh? But this is a nightmare realm for me. Like, yeah, that is nightmare realm for me. Rather like the fact that someone could be reading your mind, or you could just say your thoughts out loud. That is nightmare zone. Cause like my mind immediately will start saying shit that I don't even mean to say. It's like, oh, you piece of shit. All of you are fucking. I hate all of you. I was planning to kill you all along, even though I'm not. But it's like my mind will just go there when I feel like I might be speaking out loud. And that is kind of funny to me. What is this? The tea is ready. You hear Flower, who was in the kitchen the whole time, didn't hear our previous conversation. Bring it right away. He comes back a few seconds later with the kettle in her hand, and she starts pouring tea into our cups one by one. Hey, this isn't bad, Darren says as he takes a sip of tea from the cup. What kind of leaves did you use to make this tea? I'm not sure, Flower says. I just imagined the taste that I wanted the tea to have, and then I conjured the leaves. I don't think they actually exist in the real world. The cookies are based on a recipe that you are using on the earthen plane, correct? Melinda says. It takes one bite. I remember you creating some very similar cookies using the food creation spell of the golden fox. They are similar but not exactly the same, Flower says. The food creation spell is amazing, but it's still very limiting compared to what I can do here in my mind. In here I can replicate any taste from the real world. I can also create tastes that don't exist using only my imagination. I have so much more freedom in this place. This is great. Ask Flower what is the best original food that she invented on the ethereal plane. Ask Flower why she eats the same cookies every day if she can make any food she wants. Ask Flower if she can replicate the biscuits from my hometown without the recipe. Well, she can't imagine those biscuits, so it's not gonna work. Anyway, I want to ask her why she eats cookies if she can make any food she wants. Quick question, I say. If you can create any food you want at no cost, why is it that you are eating the same cookies and drinking the same tea every day? It's not the same cookies and tea, Flower says. I change their taste every once in a while, and it's not like I don't make other food too. It's just a tradition, that's all. Is it really so wrong to have a tradition where we eat cookies and drink tea every day? I guess not, I say. I still find it a little weird for a tradition though. Well, I like it, so I don't care if it's weird or not, Flower says. And Petal likes it too, right, Petal? Oh yes, Aluna says in an ironic tone. It's the moment that I look forward to the most every day. I see. Flower says, completely oblivious to the sarcastic undertones of Aluna's previous statements. We both like it, so there is no reason to change it. I mean, no one's asking you to change it. When you put it like that, I suppose it makes perfect sense, I say. Exactly, Flower says. Now let's talk in more drinking, unless you want the tea to get cold.